Hi, welcome to Live Dungeon and Dyslexia. I'm an idiot, Adrian, that couldn't remember how to go live on his live review. So 5 people waiting. Welcome. So we'll just wait for it to sort of catch up a bit. And today we are reviewing this, Tales of Argosa by Steve Grodzicki, I think his name is pronounced. I'm going to find out next week, well, on Saturday, because I've got an actual interview with him. So that's exciting. Today, I'm joined by Juan, Pookie, and Trollkin. So unfortunately, well, Jay and then Britt couldn't make it. So we've got Trollkin stepping in. Kind volunteers. We'll start with Juan, as ever, if you want to sort of introduce yourself, and I will share some things.
Okay, so I am one of the co-designers of the Quintessence tabletop role-playing game, which went down very well at the Games Expo this weekend, which I've not long got back from, as has Pookie and Adrian. And I also run a YouTube channel called Odd Artworks. Oh, very good. Which has just hit over 1,000 subscribers. So with big thanks from Adrian for kind of bigging that up a bit as well, which is really good. And yeah, all you lot, I met some of you at the Games Expo, so thank you for coming to say hello. And yeah, that's me.
So we've got Helen. You'll have met Helen.
Yes, I did.
Rob's better half. No offense to Rob, but definitely Rob's better half. I haven't met either of them, but I just know she will be. And we've got Andrew Beaton is here already, and Andy Hobbs. There we go. We've got 3 in speaking already, so that's cool. Okay, Pookie.
Hi, I'm Pookie. Where do I start? Okay, I'm a reviewer and editor. I'm probably best known for the website Reviews from Rillier, where I currently have 2,800 reviews. And Adrian will point you to my YouTube channel, Unboxing in the Nook, where I sit in the garden and just say, "Oh, look what cool things I've got," and I've just arrived, and make stuff up about them off the top of my head.
And Reed. You do.
Oh, and Reed. And like you and Joan, I'm just back from UK Games Expo. I had a great time, and I did meet Helen and Rob. Hello. I don't know whether Pansy will be making a star appearance tonight. I can't guarantee the vagaries of cats. I had an exceptionally good time and came back with more books than I can possibly read in the next 6 months, but I'm going to try very, very hard.
And newbie, Trollkin. Not a newbie to me. We've been friends for several weeks now. So,
right. So I'm kind of nobody. I don't have any big channels or projects of my own that I can speak about. I'm an enthusiast for dark and OSR games. I really only played in D&D, and I like the heroic side, but also the dark and OSR sides. I'm a sucker for that kind of game, so that's how I met with Arjan. And that's how I got into Tales of Argosa, too.
Yeah, no, good. And also, more importantly, you are part of my Discord Shadowdark Hex Crawl. Should we call it experiment at this stage? It's not quite a campaign, but it's opening up some really interesting things that happened from the random hex crawls, which I'm really excited about. So rules going to be slightly, so thank you. Pookie's in it as well. Juan isn't. But that's enough about that. It's all about Tales of Argosa tonight, and there's going to be a slight rule change in the comments below. I'll remind you on how we're going to do it. So there is a giveaway of the book. It is only a PDF copy of the book, but because I want a little bit of inspiration on a sci-fi game for us to review next, if you say your favorite sci-fi game in the comments, you will be included in the draw. Obviously, my Patreons are automatically included in the draw for being fantastic Patreons, and I'm up to 7 now on a monthly basis, so that's really good. So thanks to each and every one of you.
Can I leap in there and just say Eclipse Phase? Let's just do Eclipse Phase.
I don't know what it is.
Transhumanism's in a post-apocalyptic setting, and it's great.
Okay. Well, you've got to put it in the comments below, and then you'll be in a chance to, follow the rules. Follow the rules. Oh, no, I haven't thought about this. Now I've got to concentrate on what people are writing as well This is stupid. I've already failed at my own thing. Right, so I'm writing down Slay Industries by Andrew Eaton. Okay, right. So Tales of Argosa, a self-published, self-made book that is available on DriveThruRPG. The PDF link is available so it will be in the description of this video. So who wants to start with their first impressions? Why I'm foolishly putting down what people are recommended.
Go on, I'll go first. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a beautiful book. Absolutely beautiful, stunning artwork, lovely kind of old school black and white artwork throughout. Layout is perfect, very easy to understand, nice short blocks of text. I think there's a bit near the start of it where it boasts an awful lot of what it does and what it can do. And to be honest, I think it delivers on most of it. Not all of it, but we'll come to that later. But yeah, my first impressions, very, very strong, very good.
Perfect. Pookie?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a great looking book, and the artwork is really stunning. I really like it because it imparts a sort of like a grim swords and sorcery feel. I like the fact, as you was quite correct, is at the front you've got this is what it's all about. Before it pulls you into and starts sort of explaining things, and there's quite a lot of detail to the game, and beyond that, it looks quite crunchy.
Okay. Trokin?
Right. So I like the first impression is that it is just a far outweighted, I don't know the word, homebrew of D&D 5e. It looks like 5e, and it like the crunchiness and the like heroic feel of this, that heroes are powerful still in this game.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to kind of echo a few things, but there was one thing that really stood out for me when I went through this. So obviously amazing art and layout, and it was nice and easy. So this bit right at the start, this core features, which sort of shows off everything about the book. And I don't think I've ever seen a book do this before. It
was nice to see that. Very nice to see.
Yeah.
I think there have been a number of sort of like books that have kind of done it, but essentially this is probably the nicest, clearest one I've seen recently.
Yeah, and this one's specific to me, and I don't know if Juan's going to be the same, but as a dyslexic, I found this one of the easiest books I've ever read, just because of the way they lay out the paragraphs, and because he uses different colours throughout the book quite consistent, and it's all consistent.
My only slight niggle with that are those bars at the top and bottom. If they were just a fraction smaller, I would have liked it. Yeah. But that's just me. Everything else was super clear. The different colored tabs and everything, perfect.
Do you know what? I'd never noticed the bars, and now I'm not gonna not notice.
Yeah,
them.
It's the bottom one that annoys me the most.
You've probably now ruined this book for me.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not sorry that he's ruined the book for you.
Right, let's just grab a load of comments. So pretty much in it, because you can't see the comments, I keep forgetting this. So we've got quite a few shouts out for Slay, Alternity.
Oh, Alternity! I loved that game back in the day.
I don't know what that Alternity is.
It was in the tail end of TSR dying and Wizards of the Coast taking it over. It was like their sci-fi version of D&D, but better.
And I also, people keep suggesting Slay Industries. Slay Industries is not a science fiction role-playing game. It's a corporate horror role-playing game.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as Mutant Chronicles. I kind of don't think Mutant Chronicles. However, but if Slay's going to go into the if they're recommending games, if that's what we come back with, because I personally do love Slay. And we've got a comment here from Rob. The layout for aging dyslexic is great. So even a young dyslexic like myself, it's great. And then Traveller, Skyrealms. There's some proper sci-fi ones here. I'm not saying that the other things. I kind of have in my head that Slay's kind of sci-fi because it's sort of futuristic, but like you say, it is a corporate sort of horror. It's actually a game about improving your credit rating more than anything else.
Ultimately, yeah. I would love to see what you guys think of Skyrim's Jharoon. I'm a complete Jharoon fanatic and have been since it came out in '86 over here. But anyway, that's getting off topic.
I've never heard of it. Trollkin, heard of any of those games?
Not really.
No.
Oh, big up for D6 Star Wars though, the old West End Games one. Excellent.
No, I'd actually go big down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you'd be all over that one.
But you've now ruined a potential video now.
I have.
Yeah.
I think D6 Star Wars is fantastic for doing Star Wars, the single film on its own, and not a lot else.
Yeah.
Wow.
So no other. What did I get? I can't even read my notes now on what that says. I'll try and work that bit out in a little bit. This is the wonder of being dyslexic when you make notes handwritten as opposed to typing it out. I now can't actually see what one of them says, but I totally agree on the art. And the thing I found about the art is because the art style is quite consistent throughout the book. I think there may be a couple of artists, but it doesn't really deviate too much. But you do get, because some books it can be quite wild, you know, the way it changes. Helen's Pookie is on fire with controversial opinions. So, we've got another suggestion here. We're going to get sidetracked with suggestions. I probably should have just left it the way it was before. Jharoon. Anyone know that one? Or was that a joke?
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Some of the artwork in it is fantastic, and some of it, a lot of it, is weird. So yes, if you want to misinterpret some of those, I can't remember the particular creatures, but yes, you could argue that some of them are like penis horses. Okay,
it's probably look. So we've got Coriolis here as well. So right, let's get back then. So that no other first impressions. Who wants to start with good aspects of this book then?
Oh, go on then. I really like the feel of the setting. I would say I would agree with Trollkin that it has got a little bit of 5e feel, but I would liken it more to it's like Shadowdark and Warhammer Fantasy had a baby, and it turned out a little bit Conan-like in feel, which is good. Weirdly, it doesn't have kind of a world. But I kind of think in some instances it gets away with it, but in others it doesn't, which I'll come back to later. I think as a toolkit, it's got everything. You know, if you're doing a hex crawl, if you want equipment lists, if you want NPC lists, it's got a very, very comprehensive bestiary. Magic is dark and scary. I don't think the system is that difficult to learn. And controversially, I think if I was going to go for kind of like an OSR type game, I'd probably play this over Shadowdark, which I really liked Shadowdark. So I was very impressed with this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump, like you said, like the equipment. Actually, the bestiary is something.
You know, it's got everything. It's got ships. It's got all sorts of stuff. Everything you would need. So even if you're not intending to play this game, if you were just going to buy it as like a reference for other things, if you're going to homebrew something, it's got everything.
Yeah. And what the bestiary does really well, so you see all the creatures in here with brief descriptions and then stat blocks. But if you go right back to the beginning of it, so we'll just take this dire animal here down the bottom right-hand side. It explains the keywords, but back one page, you can turn it into a boss creature, a demon or undead, or a heavy version. And the boss will just give it additional stats and powers. The demon or undead gives it the demon or undead keywords, or heavy makes it like not quite a boss creature and just gives it a few extra hit points and extra abilities. So even when you throw a standard creature at one of your players, well, they go, well, you know, this is troll. I know what this is. You can go, you know what? No, this is a boss troll.
Well, I mean, what it's doing there essentially is really just giving you templates to adjust the monsters. I mean, obviously, what the book could have done was giving you sort of like, you know, boss and heavy versions of each of all of the other creatures in turn. Okay, but that would have been sort of doubled up, tripled up all of the stats.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a great option, I think,
yeah.
to have, because so many games
Definitely.
don't include stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's the one. I've written the word comprehensive down so many times and spelled it about 6 different ways as well.
Yeah.
You'd be pleased to hear.
I'm glad you can read your notes.
Barely.
Yeah, I mean, in looking at essentially what you've got in here, it really does touch all of. You can see that it's taken its inspiration from traditional kind of the structure of traditional kind of Dungeons and Dragons and all the elements that are in there, and then done its own things. So it is touching upon aerial combat and naval combat and, you know, different types of encounters and so on. All of the things that you expect to be in what is still a Dungeons and Dragons style role-playing game.
Yeah. But there aren't, to me, when I picked this up and I did my initial review, I think what surprised me the most was just how much was in the size of the book as well. Because it's only, I think it's 250, something like that, somewhere around there. It's not.
Yeah, it crams a lot in there without kind of being overwhelming, which is quite a hard thing to do.
263 and solo rules and hex crawl rules included too. So,
wow.
Yeah, very good point. Actually, we probably should have mentioned this at some point. AB said that obviously Tales of Argosa is the second edition of low fantasy RPG that has its own world, the Midlands, which Steve used a lot in this, which is he's then converted it to Shadowdark. But they were a load of adventures, not for Shadowdark. So, hold on, we've got something here as well. Stefan Lundmark, a box set with a player book, GM's rulebook, and map is coming for Kickstarter in quarter 1. That's I say, because I've got an interview with Steve on Saturday, so I'm sure we can get him to ask about that. So that's quite cool.
Cool.
So I didn't know that was coming, but then I haven't spoken to Steve other than comments on Discord. A few don't. We've got another sci-fi recommendation here. Childhood's End.
I'm not entirely sure that's a role-playing game. You may well be thinking that's the Arthur C. Clarke book, is it not?
Maybe there's one on it. I don't know. Let's just write down Space Ranger to go in. And I've got, I think that's a new member. I think Gifted 20, maybe 20 Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know I don't know what Gifted 20 dyslexia members is.
You've gifted 20 people with dyslexia.
I'm assuming it's a good thing because it's in green at the top of this. It's never happened before. I don't know what it is, but thank you. I think, unless you've done what Dewan said and you've given 20 random people dyslexia. I'm guessing you've given 20 people membership to my thing. I don't know. I haven't been doing this long enough. Anybody else? Right. Anyone? So, Pookie? No.
So,
more good stuff?
Yeah. What I like about it is the grim nature of its feel. I do like grim dark settings, and this gets that across quite nicely. I think it's sort of like, I get the feeling that it's sort of like it leans away from 5th edition, as Ewan's correct, but I think it leans more towards AD&D.
Yeah, definitely.
More than anything. And I mean, I'm going to have to come back to that because I don't think it's one of my. For me, that's not a good thing.
You're on one tonight, Pookie.
Yeah.
Stay in the positive.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in the positive. So I like all the different character classes. I like the simplicity of their creation, and I like the tone. And that's that. And obviously, everything else is really sort of kind of tools to support that. I mean, really, that's what the boils down to. I've got some interesting character types to play, 1 or 2 interesting mechanics. Again, I'm not quite so keen on all of them, but I'll come back to that.
Okay. Oh, RuneSwift recommended something.
Oh, that's me. Don't worry about it.
I know. I'm sure that's you. And then you were saying you can't read the comments, but you can answer the comments.
Well, I've tricked. I've got 2 browsers open. I'm playing a funny game with you.
You are. Trollkin?
Are we going one by one?
Oh, no, just if you want to throw in some good bits.
So I mean, I like the rolling mechanics here. It seems fast and easy, and the bonuses are not stuck on very high. Still, and it's got greater success and failure mechanics. I loved that bit in Pathfinder, and I would love to see this variant in action. It does seem to have a very fast growth of critical failure chance for lower attributes, and I don't like it because I usually roll very low attributes like every day. So, and I like the crunchiness in the system. Like it's deadly as an OSR, but OSRs are usually like way more simple than this system. And
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like my favorite homebrew book for 5e is like the Grit and Glory, if anyone heard about it. But I can't say it. Just I love this.
Okay. Anyone else got any good things before I do my big list of good things?
I like the save mechanic. I really like it's because it's one thing. It's sort of like it's a pool of point. It's essentially you have one save against everything, and each time you save, basically, it goes down, so that things become more and more difficult to survive as you go on, and it gets grimmer and grimmer. So it's you got to choose between sort of. It's almost like you're forced to choose between going on or knowing that it's going to get too dangerous. And yeah, it's there is no, how can I put it? I am an adventurer. I'm utterly heroic. I will survive everything.
Yeah. Because
magic is dark and terrifying in it. I like that there are some potentially quite interesting consequences from it as well.
I love there's no levels.
Yeah,
you can pick any spell, cast any spell whenever you want, and like you say, when it goes wrong, that D100.
I love a good magical fumble table. It's brilliant.
Yeah. It's weird because if you read this and then read Shadowdark, read this. See, when I first read this, I hadn't read Shadowdark, and I'm like, there's lots of great stuff in it. Now I've reread it again. I'm like, did he copy that from Shadowdark? Then you have to go, actually, no, because this precedes Shadowdark. Not that I'm suggesting in any way Kelsey's lawyers if she's listening. It's the other way around. But it's weird how two different, completely separate books came with some really great ideas. And, they're bound not to be the original idea from it. And I'm sure Pookie's going to give us 20 examples of other books that have done similar things.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, so the few things. I love exploding dice. It's one of my favorite mechanics in any board game, any role-playing game. Just that ability to, and I know people moan it's swingy, but when it's swingy, it is incredible fun. The downside of this, though, is because you haven't got a lot of hit points. But I've made my advantage a disadvantage, not deliberately, but I like the fact that you can just one-shot something, but equally you have to remember all the time you could be one-shotted back, which is always a bad thing. The luck point mechanic, the fact you can spend luck and it depletes down, I like, because some luck games are automatic reroll or whatever it may be, but this is, as a diminished resource, I think it's always good. Rob's just written it, and here the hit point curve is so low that it makes players really think. Random tables for injuries may or may not have been stolen from Warhammer Fantasy Roleplaying First Edition. Don't care whether it was. If you're going to steal a mechanic from another game, I'll steal that every single day of the week because it is such a fantastic thing to steal. Even down to the degrees of success, which I did speak to Steve about this a while back, and I was like, it feels very much may have borrowed from Chaosium, and he said he's never played it. So that's quite nice that if he stumbled across that by himself. Do you want some more good things? I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a really small rule, but that montage rule I really like. The way you can just take a big scene and then just montage it in with the players, just to sort of get the players to describe what they're doing, to sort of crack through something. I'll stop in a minute. Don't worry. And one of my personal favorites, and the only mechanic that I really love from 4th edition, and we keep this in 5th edition, and I do it in Shadowdark, you two will have noticed, is the blooded mechanic. I find hit points probably the worst thing in the whole of the role-playing world. The fact that you just get you get slightly more experienced, so that means you can take an additional whole whack with a sword. And people haven't got an idea of how many times they're going to whack you before, and especially if there's no change, whether you got 30 hit points or 1 hit point. But what Steve's done in this is, I don't know if you've noticed in the monster manual, some of the creatures get additional powers when they're blooded, and some of the weapons change on blooded.
Yeah,
which is great.
I mean, one game that does this effectively is 13th Age from Pelgrane
I've
Press.
never read it.
Oh, basically, one of the things it does, depending upon the creature's hit points.
Yeah.
It also does it according to an escalation die, which sits in the table and escalates through. It's a 6-sided die, goes from obviously 1 to 6. It starts at 1, and that adds a bonus to all of your rolls on a turn. So it goes up to 1 to 6, but it can go down. But some actions are triggered when it reaches a particular number on the escalation die as well. Yeah.
So we've just Loot here is just this is one of his favorites. Firefly is a cool sci-fi book, which I agree, it is good. It's a better TV series for what it lasted. We're almost at the halfway point, so just a reminder, I've changed the rules slightly, so if you weren't here right at the start, so to get into the free giveaway for the PDF copy of the book, it is just put your favorite sci-fi thing. I won't do this again, I promise, because it's a lot of additional bookkeeping for me and it's hard work. But yeah, so just write your favorite sci-fi, and only one name or one comment with one thing will only go in once. And if you are a Patreon, you automatically get included whether you're watching or not.
Although I have to say, what I'm going to do at the start of every episode is reinstitute this rule to make it more difficult for you.
But yeah, it's what I need is a paid administrator.
No, you just need an intern, unpaid.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, they can take over my channel when I'm dead. They'll be dead excited with that.
That's what you get. Well, that's what you have children for.
Saying that, yeah, my kids have actually asked if when I die, do they get my YouTube channel?
Wow,
they're nice like that, aren't they? I'm like, I'll do it. Helen will do it for minimum wage. What's minimum wage? I don't. She hasn't specified a country, so if I pick
sweatshop minimum wage,
let's say, should we go with Brazil as a country? I'll do a bit of research and come back to you. So, anyone else got anything positive?
I think you've covered most of what I had.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do have one more, because I'm quite lonely sometimes.
Oh, party bonds. I really like the section on party bonds. Often, I find sometimes you're struggling unless there's some kind of big reason for the party to stay together. Sometimes it feels a bit artificial. I really liked the party bonds table that you roll fairly early on. I thought it was a really nice idea. Yeah. I've seen similar things before, but I feel like it was pretty succinct and very clear in the way that it was delivered.
Do you want me to pull up the party bond so we can see it?
Yeah, go on then.
Because I think that's right at the start of the character creation, isn't it? I think.
It's either right at the start of it or right at the end of it. I can't remember.
Right, let's just. You might be right. Yeah, it's just after, isn't it? Because character creations, I think it's probably about the right amount of time for these games. I'm just used now to Shadowdark. Going, 2 seconds, because this does 2d6, which you don't see that often on games. So here's your party bonds table. Personally, I have no love or hate for party bonds. It's one of those that I like to. If it's an old school game like this, I'm always of the opinion that you don't always need to have a cohesive party that has got a reason to exist. It does help sometimes, but I'm not a massive fan of randomly rolled stuff for reasons to be friends, because some of them end up a bit weird.
Yes.
So, like, here we go, 53 grifters scam. However, for new or inexperienced players that don't know why they want to hang around with people, it's probably a really good idea, and I probably shouldn't be too negative on it, but it's just a personal thing.
You could also choose.
I think that's great. The idea of your grifter scam. If you've got the right set of characters, or even the wrong set of characters, that could be a lot of fun, because essentially there you got a bunch of grifters, and you're going, why have you got a paladin with you? Well, he's the front. They're doing it behind. They're running the grift behind him. You do that sort of thing, and it's just sort of like, it's encouraging you to sort of like create party cohesion and sort of like identify roles for your characters in the group.
That's it. You don't all have to get on. It's just a way to work together and travel together, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and it could be that in that case, the paladin is actually trying to, basically lead you back, trying to redeem you.
It's now starting to sound like a me thing.
Yes, it is. Let's
Fair
confirm
enough.
that.
Let's confirm that. At least no one's watching, so no one knows what I've just said.
I know that Helen is watching, because she's waiting for Pansy to turn up.
Yeah. And even Trollkin agrees with Pookie, which I just everyone. I'm the wrong one here, aren't I? So,
But what?
Yeah. So about party bonds.
Well, right.
Not bothered? Like it?
I like it because it helps to start, and like you said, with newbies, and you can choose, and the entire idea that you should start an adventure having a bond, it's like, for someone who played it a bit too much of 5th edition D&D, like, we started too much like non-coherent, very fast to like disperse and argue with each other characters. But it takes up a lot of time, and it is not pleasant most of the time.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question then. When you're playing games, this is to all three of you, do you have session zeros? And if you do have session zeros, do you all roll up your characters together? Because whenever I do a game with my friends, because I don't play games with strangers, I run games with strangers. And when I'm with strangers, so people on Discords and stuff, they give me pre-generated characters with a background. So that's all done. So whenever I'm doing, we don't need to do party bonds, because we all create characters together, and we have a cohesive reason to be in the party in the first place based on where the adventure is going to go.
Right.
And that's how I've been for the last 35 years. So that's the excuse I'm using for being different to all you three.
I think the majority of games, I mean, it depends on the game you play in, whether it's, I mean, obviously if it's a one shot, it's a bit different, or if you're doing a campaign. I would say the majority of times, whoever's GMing for us, because we all take it in turns. And most groups I've played with in the past, we've always taken it in turns. Most of the time, the GM will give you some kind of hook, or a setup, so you can build your character to involve this. They might say, you need to have a reason to be in this particular place. What is that reason? And that'll normally tie it together. So I suppose it's less of a bond and more of a circumstance most of the time for us. And sometimes it's a session zero. Sometimes we do it all before the session and email stuff.
Okay, so you will have a conversation, because the problem
there'll always be a conversation.
Doing it is you could end up with 8 fighters turn up, and then you're like, we're all the same sort of character, and then it's the party's not going. Exactly. Well, it generally happens, but you're not going to live for long. Luke, right? Go on, Pookie. Sorry.
I was going to say, pretty much the same as you. And a lot of the time with the group I'm playing with, we'll discuss what we're playing ahead of time. Although you will sometimes get groups or games. I mean, I'm thinking obviously of, say, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay or Dragonbane, where everything is rolled randomly, and that includes your character's species or race and their class as well. So you may well end up with sort of like more fighters than not, or a bunch of magic users. And then you've got to try and work together even harder and work out why you're together. And some of that can be quite fun. You know, as you literally kind of forge party dynamics through play. I think in some cases, really, that sort of comes down to trust and knowing each other. You know, that trusting each other enough to be able to sort of like create those tags and accept them.
Yeah. Okay, it's the bad part of the night possibly now then. Trollkin, do you want to kick off with some things you dislike about it?
Well, it's controversial for me that it is like a Warhammer-esque. Too much a bit like the weirdness in this, and I'm not a particular fan of how the classes are made. Well, again, coming off the 5th edition D&D, but well, I can't criticize it too much.
Okay, no. Okay, let's look at the class. What don't you?
Well,
which
like the first one, the artificial, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a chain sword? Yeah, it's Warhammer, like really, and I don't like it to be in the fantasy genre to like have these sort of things. I love realism, and this is not at all realistic. Like, for me, I love powerful classes, but if they like don't match my idea of how it would look, well, in real life, I mean.
Okay. Anyone else want to pick up on that?
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Pookie.
No, you after you.
All right. I think, I didn't have a problem with any of the character classes. I will admit the Artificer does feel slightly out of place given the theme and the rest of it. But I don't think it ruins it too much for me. Yeah, I kind of like that classes only go up to level 9. I like there's a bit of customization as you go.
You're on about the feature bit.
Yeah, the feature thing. I thought that was quite nice.
Did you?
I did actually. Yeah, I like a bit of kind of being able to tinker with the stuff that makes them work a little bit. I can see how it could be off-putting for some people, but I kind of think it would be really interesting.
Yeah. So these are basically feats for everyone else watching. That most games have feats or features, something along those lines. The thing I find weird, and I didn't know whether it was, and I'm going to ask Steve this because I'm quite blunt, whether it's kind of because the players are allowed to create their own or adapt the ones that are there. And my experience over the years I've been doing this is once you let a player want to create their own, they can either end up with something really overpowered, in which case sometimes you have to sort of rein them back in and then they get a bit annoyed, or it might be underpowered, or there is a chance that it lands perfectly. And I kind of think that a games master should possibly have more or fix it to this. It does give you an idea, of the Iron Grits, because they're all levels as well, aren't they? Because you get one every 3 levels.
Yeah, I think it's every 3. Yeah.
So yeah, it's Pookie. What's your thought on the features?
I didn't like it very much in the sort of the option idea of writing in your own, because again, for the very reasons that you've explained, Adrian, it's sort of like it's open to a lot of interpretation, and there isn't a lot of advice to that end. And I can see why he did it, because it kind of frees up player choice. But I guess you're right; it can be intimidating. Whereas you kind of wish you just had more options in there. So that the player can pull choices out of the book and customize his character that way.
I think it's worth pointing out. I kind of agree with everything you've said, as well as thinking it's kind of a good idea too. But I very much get the impression this isn't an RPG for somebody who's coming has never experienced any RPGs before. I think this is something for somebody who's maybe played a few different games and then come into it. So I don't know, maybe that's my way of looking at it.
Yeah. Trokin features?
Well, they are certainly not balanced in any way, against each other especially. And I like to do some mental gymnastics about the balancing in the game, and that the characters should be relatively at the same level of power. And this is if I'm the game master, I would crunch the feats for players because I understand the balance. I'd like to think that I understand it, and other people are not like me, and I guess this is just hard for any master to roll with such an open space to how to not ruin the game, right?
Yeah. I ended up ruining our whole Vampire the Masquerade game because I played a panda, which is the ones where you can basically create your own discipline. And I created this discipline that made my character almost invulnerable. And it was completely by accident. And I backed it in with fortitude and some other stuff. And I could soak about 30 aggravated damage. And anything that would kill me would just wipe the party. It was absolutely silly. So I'm going to pick up this gripe here from Rob, because I'm sure this is coming up at some stage. My only gripe with TOA is the roll high for combat, roll low for skill. It's a bit jarring on my old brain.
Yeah, that's exactly my number one problem with it. It just feels it just feels unnecessarily old school. As if it's trying too hard, rolling low for skills, rolling high for combat, and then an entirely different mechanic for your magic. So you've got sort of a number of different subsystems to use, and it just feels cumbersome. And the thing is, it's all right. Okay, so if you're not playing a magic user, you don't have to worry about the spellcasting mechanic. Okay, that's fine. But honestly, why can't it just be roll high or roll low, not both?
Yeah, 100% agree, Pookie. That was top of my list. Well, it was on my list of cons. It's pick a way of doing things and go with it.
Yeah, I despise it quite a lot because, like Rob says, and echoing everyone else, I want a standard system throughout a game. I think did AD&D used to do it, or was it first edition?
Okay. Oh, hold on. Essentially, it wasn't until you got to third edition that you got a coherent system with D&D.
Yeah. But some of the early editions did that, didn't they? Because
it wasn't a case of the early editions. The early editions did them all. It was literally it was the year 2000, and year 2000 when third edition came out and went, oh, thank God, finally we can roll high roll to high to do everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to share this one because these are the reasons why I do this. So thank you, Victor. Great to have you here. He's also recommended Stars with Numbers, but we'll come on to go through all the comments. I think once we get through, we've got another problem here from Loot. So a big problem with the sanity rules. Prefer sanity and horror and maybe sci-fi. Fantasy has no need for worrying about sanity. Who wants to pick that up?
I think with the sanity rules, I think I read it as by the time I got to the sanity rules, I realized there were all these different kind of tools, and I was looking at it the point of view. It's if that doesn't fit, I'm just not going to use it in the game, and that's how I looked at it. So I kind of thought, I'm of the same opinion. Why do you need sanity in fantasy? Everything's mental. It's a fantasy world.
I think this really is trying to do swords and sorcery. So I actually think you do need the sanity rules in there. Okay. You are going up against big, scary monsters. It should not be. I mean, the thing is, none of the tone of this game is all necessarily about heroics per se. You are not big. You're not high fantasy figures. It's low fantasy. And you've got low hit points. You should be afraid of these creatures, not just because you're going to lose hit points and haven't got enough, but because essentially they might have they're demons, they're horrible things. You shouldn't be it's a demon, fought one of those before. It should have some other effect, and I actually like having sanity mechanics in there to enforce that. Now the thing is, obviously, this game is you can use it as a set of tools, so you can ignore all that if you want, as Julian says, but I see no reason why it shouldn't be there.
Troken?
Well, I guess it's set for me already, but since this was mentioned that this looks about like as much as Warhammer, right? With Warhammer-esque, it has this like horror tone, or
and the corruption rules in
right, the magic corruption, and it should be like the horror side of fantasy.
I've got to say, here's my shout out for up until this point, let's say my first ever member to my channel, and it would be a name that I can't remember. It wouldn't just be a simple one or two words, would it? It's my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning, and on one of my membership things I'm going to do a shout out, and I'm like, thank you very much. No, seriously, thank you for being a member, and I don't mean that. It's just it's too long. Can you just change it to Bob? That's all I ask.
I mean, the thing is, my first question is, he's got 2 ear trumpets. Which one has been struck by lightning?
Yeah. So we've got another gifted membership again. I need to find out what this means, because I don't know. I'm generally, because someone actually earlier up thanked for the membership, which kind of implies that Jeff has been sent a membership from Kevin. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if that's actually what's happened. Yeah, so Loot is now saying thanks, and he's got the membership coin thing next to his name.
But what does it mean?
I don't know. It means there's a good chance I've now got 22 shout outs to do on a video, which probably is quite foolish.
It's paid membership, right? So
that's what I assume.
Free members, you've got free money, right? From someone.
That's what I'm assuming. So now I need to work out the headache of how do I deal with shout outs. I was like, no one's ever going to become a member, let alone ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. Helen thinks it's pay forward, so prepaid membership gifted to them for other people. So hopefully they'll forget to cancel it in the future. So this is a money making scheme. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I get a temporary member for a month. Oh, thank you. And Kevin, back to again. Thank you then for the 20. That's incredibly generous. So let's get back to negatives. I think a specific number is going to turn up in the negatives. Because I found this one like probably the most bizarre rule I've ever read.
19?
19.
Yes, the rule of 19. Being,
No, 19.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's sort of like you're so used to rolling in this style of game. Okay, I've got a 20, natural 20, critical, gives me double damage. And in here, you've got natural 20 for different effects to basically inflict different weapon effects. And I love the weapon effects, okay? But at the same time, I'm kind of going, okay, well, why can't they happen on the 20? Could there not be an easier way of doing this? Perhaps, I mean, I was thinking about it, okay, I can either have double damage or I can have a special weapon effect. Make the choice of that rather than, okay, it's a 19, hurrah!
Yeah. So it's here. Here's the weapon table. It's because in normal attack rolls, 20 is always a failure, even if your skill's over 20, isn't it? And 1 is a automatic pass. When you're attacking, 20 becomes critical, 1 becomes a fail, but 19 becomes a special. A natural 19 becomes this special attack here, which I say is great, but it does seem a little bit. I don't know. So
I mean, if you play the Cypher system from Monty Cook Games, then you do get a benefits of sort of like rolling a natural 19 or 20, and then a sort of like a 17 or 18, and that's built in. But when it comes to essentially what is a retro clone, it doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen such mechanic in retro games, right? And in older school games.
Yeah.
You know what this natural 19 looks like? Like a great success. This kind of ties into the issue that this is a roll high in a system where everything is roll under.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an extra annoyance to remember as well. Because I don't think it's one of those. I think you'll be 2 attacks on. You'll go, I rolled a 19, didn't I?
Yeah.
Can I go back and do that extra damage? And you're like, well, not really. And then the player's going to be a little bit frustrated. Or you can go back, and it kind of fundamentally changes other stuff. So we've got a couple of comments here around the Nat 19s.
Weird
Yep.
is the word.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, definitely. Yeah, it's very weird.
So yeah, I'd agree with both of those. So that it's just
I guess it mostly gives the traumas and it enables the trauma rules. I think so. It might be like not a standout feature, but a hack to push in the trauma rule set, because otherwise the game wouldn't be able to have traumas at all.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else have anything negative? I know, Dewin, you kind of put one into your positive and then started talking about a negative.
So my negative is unfortunately the solo play. When I read that in the kind of list of features, I got quite excited because I really enjoyed the solo play in Dragonbane. And I was quite, as I was going through the book, I was thinking, oh, this is quite interesting. It's got a bit of crunch to it. It's got some interesting features that I quite like. But I felt like the explanation on how solo play works could have benefited from a little scenario or an adventure similar to what I think Dragonbane does it very, very well in that it sets up how it works, everything. It's got that little booklet. Whereas this, I was left thinking, oh, okay, I'm not sure about this. So I feel like this book, as I said before, it's crammed a lot into the pages it has, but I kind of almost feel like there's a lot of stuff it doesn't need in this book. I think if you were going to do a solo version, I would do it separately, so you could give it more space, more examples and adventure. Maybe the naval or mass combat stuff that could have been taken out, and more of the kind of stuff that requires just a little bit more explanation could have been put in there for me.
Okay, so it was touched on as well. No world, no adventure.
Yeah,
I know Steve's got it covered because there are free adventures and good adventures available from Drive-Thru RPG. So we've got 5 minutes to go. So do we want to do some sort of conclusions without saying where you're going to vote? So because to me, I feel this is one of the. It's a good system. But it's a really good plug and play system where you can take aspects of this in and out simply, but more importantly, take most of what's in this and just throw it into other games as well.
That's it. Yeah, it's a good system. It could be a better system with a bit more tinkering and work from a good GM, but it's an excellent toolkit. I think that's the way I would sum it up.
Tolkien, Pookie?
There are lots of bits and pieces in here to like, but as a whole, I just think it's too fiddly.
Okay, Trollkin.
It seems like, yeah, there are lots of pieces, and they don't quite seem right fit for each other. Like, and the system itself, it's like a bit more complex than I would like it to be.
Yeah, I would say that it's just trying too hard to be old school.
Like advanced old school,
Yeah,
not old school.
yeah.
Ooh. We might have a split decision here.
I think we might for the first time.
So you've got about 3 minutes. If you haven't said so, let's just have a quick look. We've got 18 individual people that have said a sci-fi game. So if you want to throw a sci-fi game in the comment and you've already spoken, but haven't put a sci-fi comment in the boat to basically get into the giveaway, you need to just drop any sci-fi thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through these and pick, because in 2 weeks' time, we're going to come back. And because we're quite conscious here that we have just done exclusively, I think, fantasy.
No, we did Delta Green.
Oh, we did do Delta Green. So that's a fantasy game, right? It's
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So it's got sand in it. So and magic. And weirdly, Rob still hasn't got his copy of the game. Because as luck would have it, he's not on tonight, so hopefully he'll never come back on again, because he won it. He won it last week, and it was kind of a bit embarrassing. And yeah, so that was conspiracy. Conspiracy X.
Conspiracy X would be a good one. I haven't looked at that for a long time.
I'm not sure whether that would count as sci-fi, but it's something that isn't fantasy, so I'm going to throw it in. It is. Yeah,
I mean, conspiracy. Since it does involve UFOs, I mean, it's pretty much a similar territory than Delta Green.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah,
but slightly more fantastical.
See it, yeah.
But it's been a long time since I've looked at it. Isn't Conspiracy X coming back? Isn't there a reprint? Did I?
Really?
I don't know. I mean,
I have some vivid dreams now and again, so maybe it was a dream.
Have you been eating too much cheese?
I don't like cheese. Cheese is horrible.
How can you not like cheese? It's amazing.
Sing me, cheese is amazing.
Oh,
no, cheese is evil. You know, it comes from a boob, right?
Yeah, that's why it's great.
Yeah.
So, as a second shout there for Coriolis from Todd Butcher.
I would like to look at Coriolis.
Coriolis is a really interesting game. I've got a copy of the new edition of the next game as well.
There's a second edition of it, isn't there?
It's not second edition. It's kind of like an entirely separate new game, set in the same universe, but sort of like away from the setting in the core book.
Okay. I honestly can't believe nobody said rifts.
I can.
I mean,
so,
you know, the thing is, if you say riffs, I will find time to come to your house, Ewan, and hit you with the kitchen sink that is riffs.
Hey, look, I've already had a lot of Palladium hate already.
So we are just before 9 o'clock, so we are going to do our final review, and for that we'll just put our thumbs up. We'll either go up, down, or down, and to go, and then we'll do the draw, and then we'll probably just spend half an hour sort of trolling through, have a look at. Not troll. You can't say trolling anymore because that's a negative connotations now, hasn't it? Have a look through the things and see if we can work out who we're
troll.
Trolling through. That's
trolling through. That's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So on 3, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Sounds predominantly good. Or is Pookie frozen? I'm sure his screen's
I'm
frozen.
not frozen.
His screen's frozen.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to go negative like that because I don't think it deserves that. But I think it's got too many things against it that make it a full positive.
Fair.
Yeah. See, the bit that really throws it in for me to make it good is the fact that you can just use it as a toolkit for anything else. So
yeah,
if you're going to buy one book, and even whether I play this or not, throughout the rest of my life. I'm glad that I got it because of the things that I can add. And when I was rereading it again today, I was like, oh, it does this, and I can have this, and there's all this other stuff we can have. But this is really the moment we've been waiting for, isn't it?
Just before, how much does the book sell for, Adrian? Do you know?
I will show you.
Just because we're saying it's one book, but if it's one book that costs 400 quid, then...
Well, the GM screen's free, which is always good. But the book itself, here we go. I'll just share this. I've lost us now.
Is it just print on demand?
Print on demand, yes. Yeah. So book itself is currently £18 for the PDF, but 25 quid for the soft cover, 33.
Very reasonable.
So my affiliate link is in there. Obviously, if you're going to buy it, then let me. You also get, well, you can't. You can buy the packs of cards, but there's 2 free adventures, so it has got some adventures included in it as well. But the cards are pretty decent.
Yeah.
Right. So I think for price wise as well, for 30 quid,
I think it's very good value.
That is good.
Just you see some of these books and they're like 70 quid, and it's like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, David was just mentioned that the Oracle dice. We didn't even get into that because I don't own the Oracle dice, but the Oracle dice mechanic, Kieran at Fox Off RPG's done a whole playthrough of the Oracle dice and does look a really good bit on it. So, right, we've got 20 within comments and stuff. So,
will the wheel be able to take it?
Will it be able to do it? This is the highlight of the evening. I was thinking, where's the spin mechanic? The 14 is going to be gutted because almost with 14 there. So let me just find out who number 14 is. Number 14 is Our Theory with Coriolis.
Oh, really?
Yes. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
You're going to have to spin again.
It's a fix.
Is that really you?
Yeah, it's just like I've changed names once. I didn't like it.
Right. Okay.
So we all need to stop messing with Adrian.
So I'm just gonna have to clear you out now.
Really?
Oh, you should clear out Run Swift and I think Pookie as well.
No, I'm not ignoring Coriolis. I'm just ignoring you for winning the book.
Yeah, right. I'm like, well, I'm sad now. All right, I would have to buy the book by my own.
You only get the PDF copy. I'm not sending a full copy of the book. We're not made of money.
All right. No.
So,
Okay.
And you've already got the PDF of the book. So
Right.
I'm gonna have to do this again. So
That's
It
true.
landed on
15.
it did actually land on 15, not 14. So,
oh, did I get it wrong?
yes.
Oh, right. You're right. Yes, so it's Space Ranger. Space Ranger won. God, I'm an idiot. Space Ranger won. So now I need to go back through the comments and find out what book Space Ranger put in. So Space Ranger won. Congratulations, Space Ranger. Hopefully you're still here.
He is.
He is
still here.
What
Do you know
book did you put in?
What book did he put in?
Yeah.
He was right near the start, I think. So Space Ranger, we've got a yes. Favorite book. So that's where he talked about Child's End.
Children's End, and that's a science fiction novel.
That's what you thought was the novel. Maybe quickly, just write any book in the description. Favorite book, Child's End is goodie but oldie. Yes. Say without it. Favorite. Okay. Oh, this is the first one he put up. I'm so looking forward to this.
Oh God.
Yes. Cookie's going to be in a bad mood next time.
Oh.
So you're gonna have to find positive things to say.
Oh, honestly, I have a lot of positive things to say about the Star Wars role-playing game. I really do. I just have some major negative things to say about it that annoys the hell out of me.
Absolutely fine. Keep it to yourself. I've got positives and negatives.
Likewise.
Do you know what? Well, before we get into that, then this is quite an interesting conversation for me in my head. Are you on my Discord, Space Ranger? Because if you're on my Discord, that's the easiest thing. If you can drop me just a message over there, so I know it's you, we can pick it up. But let's end with this one. We've got 3 different Star Wars games. Has everyone played all 3? So the West End Games version, Fantasy Flight, and Wizards of the Coast version of it.
I've played 2 of those.
I've played 2 of those.
Yeah.
0.
I just don't play sci-fi really. Like Coriolis was the only game I played at all.
Okay, so we'll do this another time, then. So you went to a convention recently, Pookie, and you started sharing a few things, as did Ewan. I think we should just spend the rest of this then. Let's just talk about the books that you picked up at the expo, if you want.
I mean, do you want me to come back with everything? Because I mean, that could take a while.
Not everything. Because I saw your Saturday bag, and that
highlights.
That was
go with highlights. The best.
I'll go with highlights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Victor's played all 3. I've played all 3. Space Rangers played 2 out of 3. So, yeah, we'll do that as a live debate one night. We'll get on and we'll talk through all the Star Wars ones. I've just had a ping, which might be my Discord ping in. So, go on then, Pookie. Start showing. Get the thingy book, that stunning book that you were sending me for free.
Teeth.
The book that I'm going to send for you for free, and then you're going to recompense me.
Sorry, I lost the second part of that sentence.
I thought you might have done. So let's just take this down. Sorry. Okay. You'll forgive me. Okay. So I should explain. I mean, like Adrian, I'm a reviewer. I go to an event like this, and I pick up a lot of books to review. A lot. So this is one of them. I don't know. I know very little about this. Okay.
It looks beautiful, though.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's got some phenomenal artwork, and the layout's lovely.
Let's just.
I can't remember. I know it was up for best RPG at the expo. Did it win?
I don't know.
I know it was one of the top 3.
Okay, it's from the writer of all things, the designer of 2 other role-playing games, both from River Horse, the Labyrinth role-playing game, and the Dark Crystal role-playing games.
Oh.
Okay, and this is a far more complex kind of a retro clone style game. I think there's much more to it. I mean, it's got my interest, and I'm looking forward to digging into that. Do you want me to just go with what else I've got?
Because I didn't get a lot because my Sunday was going.
My stuff once,
and I got my weird elbow, so I didn't get to go back.
So this is Midnight of the Century. It's from By Odin's Beard, and it's a pre-apocalyptic serial killer investigative role-playing game inspired by 90s television such as Twin Peaks, Millennium, and Homicide: Life on the Street. And when the author said Homicide: Life on the Street, I went, I'm in. That's my favorite cop show of all time. So let's just sum up. Okay, picked up this.
Okay, you do. I'm going to do one. I want to do one first.
Okay, go. Oh, I got a copy of that.
So this is Slay's one of my favorite all-time games. It's the first and second edition, and this is Cyborg with Slay. It's absolutely bloody stunning, and I've just got my PDF copies sent today. I had to send them a photo with me on it to get my PDF copies. And yeah, so that I will be reviewing in the next few days. It's amazing.
I mean, the thing is, bear in mind that it's a piss take of Slay Industries. Okay, it's a comedy. It's a violent comedy game. Go on, Ewan, you're up.
So I picked up Through the Hedgerow because from Osprey, because I'm about to do some work with Osprey, and they very kindly gave me this for free. Nice. Very excited to have a look through it. Haven't looked through it yet. No idea about it. The setting sounds really interesting. It's rustic folk fantasy across 3 different time periods. So
Yeah,
that's about as much as I know about it.
I mean, it's there's a TV series and a book called The Box of Delights.
Oh, I remember it when I was a kid. Yeah.
It's that kind of genre.
Oh, I'm fully sold.
Okay. You know, so there is sort of there's a bit of sort of like time travel between these 3 different ages. So there's a lot of kind of magical realism and sort of like folk magic and folk horror in there. And it's another just interesting genre book from Osprey. Osprey do really good little role-playing games, of interesting subjects that you don't often see elsewhere. My only grumble with Osprey is that their role-playing games are not supported by further content.
No,
but the core books are great and really just sort of stand up on their own.
Is that they do that? Is it the Dracula Cowboy one?
That's one of the war games.
Yeah. I was so annoyed that turned out to be a war game. I wanted it to be a role-playing game.
Yeah, no, they seem. I'm really excited. I can't really talk about what I'm going to be working on with them, but I'm really excited about it.
Wait, no, you can't. Nobody's watching. The cameras are off.
Is it?
I am not falling for this again.
Okay, is it role-playing related?
It is, yes.
Right. Are you artist or author?
I'm not allowed to say.
Oh,
I picked up this.
I am very grateful for you picking it up as well.
And I had to pay for mine.
Oh, but you did get 1 book for free.
I don't mind. I'm happy to have. I must say,
we only charged you 15 quid for the signatures as well.
Don't. He was there this year. I nearly went and demanded my £5 back. It's absolutely stunning. And I know you're a great artist because I follow your YouTube channel. But it is.
Thank you, man.
Because the problem with PDFs, the PDFs don't really do justice to art, and especially on decent quality paper as well. So I will get a review of this done because I've read the rules now, and like Pookie said, it's actually pretty fucking good.
Wow, that's a spoiler right there.
It is. Yeah. Then we've got your goblins, which is filmed,
which is backwards.
Yeah,
have you got any limited edition of these backward goblins left? That
I have some left. Yeah,
we do have some on the channel. You should give them away on your channel.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll have it. I've got a meeting with Charlotte tomorrow, and I'll see what she says. And if we can get some for you to give away, we will.
I assume this uses this rule system.
Yes, it doesn't have to. I mean, you can use the lore and everything for any system, but we wrote it for Quintessence.
Come on, then, Pookie. What else have you got?
I've got dungeon. Okay. One of the great things about the event is there's a bring and buy. And you can find, but there's not a lot of role-playing content in there. You just have to really kind of delve. So the dungeon, Deep Carbon Observatory, classic sort of old school Renaissance adventure that is a bit weird. It's done by it's drawn by Scrap Princess.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart, who did a couple of really big
Star Trek TV shows.
Could someone slap him? There's another Patrick Stewart. Okay. There's that. I'm just trying to think what else I've got downstairs. I could bring upstairs to show you. Good choice.
He lives very close to me.
Yeah.
Because his stuff's still. He's Cheltenham, Gloucester way.
All right.
But how have you got on with? Have you given it a go as a dyslexic? I'm not very good with solo games, and as soon as I spotted it had a card game in it as well, so I'm really interested in picking it up and giving it a go.
I've had a very quick look, and to be honest, I was suckered in by the artwork more than anything else.
Yes.
And it's got
such an interesting setting.
Such an interesting setting. Let's see if we can find my favorite page real quick.
I've got all of the books for it. Because I've reviewed all of them, but the artwork is fantastic. The black and white
stuff is amazing, but the full color stuff.
Yeah, it's very Studio Ghibli-esque.
Yes, very much so. But it's the idea that the whole world is inside this ginormous castle with land masses and oceans and all sorts in it. But there are these things called rooks, which are big castles, and you've got to go fight them and stuff. Sounds amazing.
And the fact that what's interesting is that every single different room is an entirely different environment.
Mm.
We've got
That's
someone
right.
for your giveaway. John Fielder wants one of your books.
We'll see if we can sort it.
So yeah. So I will be giving away on my channel for £35. It's a free giveaway. All you need to do is make a donation to the charity of my choice, which is I'm sure I'll pick one. Yeah, we'll
sort something out.
Yeah, we can sort something out. I also got the Modifius 2D20 Cthulhu Romans game.
All right.
Which I'm hoping is going to be good. I've had a bit of a flick through. Looks quite good because I really wanted to like Lex Arcana, which is like a fantasy Roman game with a very weird, unique system that I struggled with.
Right.
Have you ever had anything new, Trollkin? There we go. Cohorts Cthulhu.
I don't buy books.
You don't? Because you're young.
I mean,
you
not
PDFs.
physical ones, because
Yeah.
I'm like too far from conventions and everything.
Yeah. So where are you?
I in Armenia.
Armenia, yeah, that's it.
I've got like 2 books now that I want to buy like in physical copy, and this is the Knave 2nd edition because I use it all the time in my games. The tables are great, and now the Tales of Argosa too. Actually,
is there no print-on-demand options off Drive-Through RPG where you live?
I don't know. Probably I would. I don't like the print-on-demand option because wait, I don't know just what the word means. Print-on-demand. Is it like they can print a hard book?
Yeah. This is
just for me, right?
Yeah. This is my copy is print-on-demand.
Oh, all right.
So it is very, very good. Drive-Through RPG, especially in this country. So worst comes to the worst, let me know. I'll have one printed and delivered to mine. Then I'll just post it out to you.
Right.
So if that
it'll be great.
Just a load of stuff out, and if that's not illegal, from I just broken the law now. We'll send it as a gift.
I don't think it's like.
No, it's not. It's
not.
Not really.
Yeah. So I've just grabbed a random pile of stuff. The next thing is that
Numenera, Slave Machine God,
which is a campaign in 2 strands. You've got 2 different plot strands. You can run them separately or together. So Numenera is sort of like is a very, very far future science fantasy setting where you use technology like magic, but you know it's like it's technology.
Yeah.
At the second case file for the Blade Runner RPG.
Oh, is that out? Oh, that's nice then.
That's been out for quite a while. I just Yeah. And talking of Slay, there is the progress reports collected edition.
Yeah, that was out. That was at the that was there last year, wasn't it? I didn't get the one you're about to show because I didn't go back on the bloody Sunday for my shopping. Oh no, not you didn't get the other Slay book.
I did. I did. That's downstairs.
Yeah.
The limited edition 6th volume.
I've got to message Jared about it and go, hello, Jared.
He gave me number 75 of 75.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is Ship of Fools. It's for a little role-playing game called Sanction, which is an investigative game with interesting genre setups. This one is where you play papal investigators in Avion during the papal schism, and the best description essentially is it's paranoia meets the papacy.
Okay.
And I just went, that sounds brilliant.
Yeah. Sadly, Ultra American, you have missed it. So it ends at 9 p.m. So we sort of do an hour, then the giveaway.
So something strange is this, which is Bludgeon from Tactics and Chai. It's a trio of British Indian writers.
Oh yes, they were a few stands down from us. That we had quite a long conversation about them, about how to actually print it and get artwork done and stuff. They're really nice folks.
Yeah, because the thing is, what I love about at these conventions is that you do get publishers from all around the world come, and these are British, but basically, it's not just that, but I look for role-playing games that are that draw from different cultures and backgrounds, and this is all Indian myth and legend. So it's exactly, I want to see things that are outside of the essentially English speaking experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I could keep going for the next hour with the stuff.
I think I
well,
want to do this. That is a really good book.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry. Just for Helen's benefit, if she's still on.
Is your cat here?
This is Trellis, who generally doesn't involve herself with me, and she's going to go now because she's annoyed. Okay. So this is Pendragon. Pendragon is the best Arthurian role-playing game available. There is no contender, although if you looked at Prince Valiant, I'll give you a buy. This is the 6th edition book for the Game Master, and it's absolutely terrific. Lots of great background for the setting, helps you run the game. The core rules are in the player's book. Okay, that gives character generation as well. And the other thing is, all you've got to do at the moment with this is go and pick up the starter set, and that'll get you ready to play the Great Pendragon campaign, one of the greatest campaigns in role-playing. It
was in my top 5 greatest campaigns on my life. And the only problem and the downside of what you've just said is the best Arthurian book is 4th edition Pendragon, which
that's the edition I've played.
and the reason why it's the best, and it's the reason why Greg Stafford himself hates 4th edition, is because it includes the Celtic magic. He then basically got rid of it for 5th edition because he says he's turned it to sort of fantasy. But I love the Celtic magic. But the good thing about Pendragon is whether you've got 1st all the way through to 6th, they're all pretty much all compatible. Yeah, it is a truly fantastic game. And because Chaosium, no, it's not Chaosium that do Pendragon, is it? It is because they've sent me the players, the Games Master thing that I did a review on. It's then made me go back and buy the other books, the sneaky buggers. Yeah,
that's how they get you.
It is.
And then there is this. This is Shiver Slasher starter set. Shiver is from Parable Games. It's a generic horror role-playing game, but they have covered several genres, including the slasher genre. So your Michael Myers, your Jason Voorhees, that sort of thing. And this is it's got its own supplement, and this is the starter set for you to get into that genre if you want to. Very nicely appointed. It's not my favorite genre of horror. I like their blockbuster setting, which is all about horror movies, more as it's more coherent, but it's really nice. I do like Shiver, and they've got a fantastic vampire campaign setting book. Oh, Spire Home. It's absolutely amazing. It's the Spire's Shiver's the only quirky dice game that I'll consider playing. I can't stand.
I thought it had weird dice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
My mate Paul runs it, and I really enjoyed it. And Spire
Home is essentially going to describe it as you have an English city on the Balkan coast, where you play what are essentially members of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, being tasked to investigate crimes.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, it's good. So it's great. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for the memberships. I just want to end with this, a little bit of a plug of a little convention that if you want to come and meet Pookie and I, we've got a convention that do you want to take it away, Pookie?
Okay, so Glorantha Games is a one-day convention in Birmingham on September the 6th. It's a Saturday. It's all dedicated to one setting, which is Greg Stafford's Glorantha. And we're presenting games or making games available for RuneQuest role-playing at Glorantha, 13th Age Glorantha, and Quest Worlds you playing in Glorantha. All the official games that Chaosium currently support. It's free to sign up. It'll be, and there'll be a couple of games on the day. It's all quite informal, and we are raising money for charity for shelter. Also, the great thing is that the location is the Custard Factory in Birmingham, and if you dawdle whilst you're there, we're basically we're hosting it in a cafe. If you dawdle, you can probably make it to Birmingham's premier game shop in about a minute from the location, which is Wayland's Forge.
And Pookie and I will be there. Most importantly,
have you signed up yet?
Nope.
Well, you need to. You need. Okay, you say you will be there. You need to sign up because there are only 20 spaces left.
Yeah, no. The only reason I hadn't is I was waiting for because I was trying to get Andrew Grim Shady to come with me because he lives in the next village down.
Right.
But he's just told me today he can't make it, so I'm just going to get a ticket by myself.
Okay.
So
you're gonna ask. You're not going to ask Roger.
Roger lives all the way up north.
Oh, he lives in Liverpool, isn't he?
He's Blackpool, isn't he?
Oh, okay. It's a bit further, but I've got a friend coming down from Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm sure the same island, you grand.
I'm sure Roger will make it because he's watching tonight. He's not, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll send it to Roger then. Because hold on, that sounds like you don't want me to go. You want Roger to come.
Oh damn it! I've given that away. No, I do want you. I do want you to come. I mean, the thing is,
you got a question here. We have 2 tickets. Does that mean we get seats at the table?
Well, I mean, let me just check. No, yeah. I mean, you have to share a seat between the two of you. No, of course you get seats. Of course you do.
I think it's mandatory they have to sit on Pookie's lap.
Can I have Helen sitting on me first?
We should probably go.
Yes. Well, look. So yeah, I mean, there'll be lots of games run by people who know RuneQuest and Glorantha very well, and they're all good GMs and they're all a friendly bunch. Because a lot of them will have just been to Chaosium Con UK. Why weren't you there, Adrian? And we'll be at Continuum at the end of July.
I wasn't at Chaos Income because my wife wouldn't let me go out and play. I'd been a very naughty boy, and she told me I couldn't go out.
Okay.
It was actually because it was the week before the convention, the expo. And
yeah.
It was just having 2 whole weekends out in a row at the moment.
I mean,
stuff's a bad plan for me.
The problem with Glorantha Games is it's the weekend before another convention, local convention, which is Owlbear Woods of Staff, which takes place in Leamington Spa.
Yeah, but I I can do in one day. So Chaosium, I'd have ended up going for the whole weekend.
I actually met an old friend who I'd not seen in about a decade turn up on the Sunday.
Oh, cool!
And he got a game.
Rob's all hurt that you didn't want to sit on his lap, or whichever way around it was going to be. So,
well, I mean, the thing is, I think we're going to have to take the whole lap sitting thing off to an OnlyFans channel.
Yeah. So we got some cat love just while we do this.
Okay,
so,
just to check in, that wasn't Pansy, that was Trellis.
So how many cats have you got? Is it
4? 4
right,
inside.
Yeah.
There are some outside that we look after as well.
Yeah, mainly the tigers and the panthers. Yeah.
Yeah. And occasionally the tiger comes to tea.
Yeah. Is it? There's that zoo, isn't there, just outside London? There's that really rich, eccentric bloke that's got his own like cat zoo, isn't there?
More fool.
Yeah.
More
anyway,
because
Anyway. Special thanks for Tolkien for stepping in right at the last moment. You've been an absolute star. So we will be back in 2 weeks' time, which is what's that? The 18th. It'll be. That's right, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah. For Star Wars. Is that what we're doing? West End Games?
Yeah, Star Wars D6.
Star Wars,
D6, yeah. So thank you. We have got the winner has messaged me. Oh, what was his name? Space Ranger 76. He's already in my Discord. Well, he's joined my Discord and subscribed to my channel. Cheeky monkey. So I'll watch it. It will drop back down by 1 by tomorrow. I've got So as ever, thanks everyone for all your comments and your input. Thanks again to Dewan, Pookie, and Trollkin. So we'll be back on the 18th, and just go and grab your last few tickets for Glorantha, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.